Even as a little kid, Juan Cantone knew he wanted to dance. He just needed a few years to work up the courage.
Now it's quite a joke, thank God. But in that moment, it was a little bit tough. So for me, in order to match with the society, I say, okay, what is for boys? And for boys, it's basketball and these kind of things, football, soccer. But I say, no, but something that you can move the body. Okay, martial arts. And I started with martial arts. And many years after, I was a teenager, and with all the rebel part that we have when we are teenagers, I decide, okay, now I'm gonna take my life and start to dance. It was 17, something like that. And in that moment also, I never cut my hair for the same reason. When I was a kid, I want to have a long hair. No, that's not for a boy. Oh, shit. So that moment when I was teenager, I took my life in my hands and I said, okay, now I'm gonna have long hair and I'm gonna dance.
I'm Liz Sabachik, and this is Humans of Tango, where we explore what tango has to teach through the experiences of those who dance it. Juan was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in the midst of massive political turmoil. As a kid, he listened to the tango music of his birthplace, but dancing was forbidden by the brutal military dictatorship that held power when he was young. After that dictatorship fell, and Juan grew into a rebellious teenager, he decided to dance tango. With that choice, he joined a cultural renaissance that would sweep his hometown and the world.
With the beginning of the democracy here, it was in half of 80s. Yes, all the young people, we had all the input, all the energy to to change the world again. And it was interesting because it was through our own culture. When our generation in 90s get interested in tango, and we want to found the milongueros.
Milongueros, meaning people who dance tango before the period of political suppression.
Milongueros say, you are crazy, guys. What you want? Tango is dead. And for us, no, maestra, please teach us your secrets, your things. But why? Why is nobody going to dance tango anymore? Yes, tango gonna come back. And they say, okay, guys, you are very strange people. When I started, we were like a generation of men, but a couple of years after, I think Graciela Gonzalez, it was one of the first, I want to say dancer, but milonguera also, who started with follower technique. And I was part of this class. In this class, she had, 20 followers and I mean, a woman and 2 men, El Indio, Benavente, and me. And both long hair. And it was, for he and for me, it was like part of, because we were like a start before, no? And for us, it was part of the same thing. If Graciela Gonzalez has something to teach, I want to catch that. In 10 years, we have a very, very crazy followers. Many of them come from the ballet dance or modern dance. And it was a nice moment, like a blooming moment, no? Like, yes, in the spring, tango spring. it was a surprise for us how it was the impact of this thing in the rest of the world, because many of our generation start to travel, and we realize that in Paris, in New York, in Japan, and I mean in many big cities around the world, they had tango, like in Buenos Aires, and for us it was what? And we start to travel, to see, to know, to learn about tango, even out of our country. Many times, I don't know why, but people want to ask how dance or how is the tango in Italy, how is the tango in America, and for me it's like people is people in all the world. So I can find people like me in Uruguay, in New York, and in different countries. And now we are also having like a new global culture. And yes, of course, if you connect with tango in 80s in Japan and you continue working on that, of course, this person has many things to teach me. Or we have the possibility to learn from people from around the world. I knew many good, great dancers around the world, non-Argentinian.
By the time I moved to DC after starting my tango journey in Uruguay, Juan was already visiting regularly to teach and perform with Sol Orozco, his former longtime partner. I remember Juan talking to me about maintaining a learner's mindset in one of our first conversations, probably going on 15 years ago. For Juan, realizing our potential as dancers has absolutely nothing to do with where we were born and everything to do with how we approach our tango journey. He calls it the why aspect of tango.
If you just go to tango and like another activity, like go to the gym, you're never going to arrive to this point, because in order to arrive to this deepness, you should study and go and try and found, and I don't know, it's about passion. Usually people here and in many parts of the world work with the other aspects of tango. Many times I separate tango in a couple of aspects. The first aspect is the aspect about what to do. No, and you said before, ganchos and turns and boleos. Yes, this is vocabulary. This is, in my opinion, is the first aspect. I go to the class and the teacher teach me an ocho and then and the turn and the thing and yada, yada, yada. And the first year or the first year and a half, you think, oh, wow, I'm going into the deepness of tango because I know more every time. But then after a year or 2 years, you arrive to like a plateau area, you know, that you think, I'm doing exactly the same ocho that the dancer make. I'm doing exactly the same boleo that the teacher do. But I'm missing something. I don't know what. And many times this plateau area, it takes, 10 years. And you continue in the same way until you discover the other aspects. In my opinion, the second aspect is the aspect about how to do it. And this is about technique. And when you discover the technique part, everything starts to match and say, oh, okay, no, now it's not the same ocho, my ocho, and the ocho of the dancer that I love. But also has a moment that you arrive to another plateau area because you know vocabulary and you know how to do it. And now is the time to go to the third aspect, which is the music. And the name of this aspect for me is when, in what moment I'm gonna do something, no? Because I know a bolero, I know how to do it, great bolero, but I have music, it's like a marcado or something very, very melodic, like, and you are making, or you have like a chung, 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 ring, and you are making boom, bolero, or colgada. Even if you are doing it in a great way, you start to feel, oh, something is wrong. And now, yes, after this, you are right to the aspect about why. And this is very subjective aspect. And it's about all the things that I said before, no? Let's say you have an accent, a musical accent, because you are listening, I don't know, Canaro, and suddenly you have an accent. Canaro from 30s. You have an accent. You know the bolero. You know how to do the bolero, and you do a great big new bolero and this Canaro music, and it doesn't match. It doesn't match, even if it's on music and well done. Because Canaro is not asking for boleros. And that was for us, for my generation, something that we were to milongueros to ask. Okay, we know to move, we know how to do it, the things, but you have something more.
Did the milongueros have answers about why?
Yes.
Did they try to explain?
In their language, which is not super clear, we should read in between lines. Through the practice and through the experience, we can recreate our answers. But there's not, for me, in my experience, a milonguero who say, no, the reason is this one and that one and that. I say, there is a what to do, there is a how to do it, there is a when to do it, there is a why to do it. No, nobody taught me something like that. This, my creation, no? Through all these questions, through all my research, I were finding answers and creating answers.
To make sure that I am totally clear on the why piece, it's not why dance, right? It's like why pass this second of the song in this way, right? It's the why that informs the experience of dancing.
The why is many, many things. The why part, many, many things. And it's, in my opinion, the juicy part. I had a teacher, a milonguero, who said, yes, you dance. You know, and he said, they were talking about the young generation. You dance always in the same way. And for me, it was, yes. I listened this before, but I want to understand what means for you that. And asking, I start to discover that they were right, because for us it was okay. I'm gonna make a step and then another step. I am listening to the music and I have an accent, and in that moment I'm gonna make another element. And one of them gave me a key. It was, you guys are dancing from one point to the other point. I mean, you are in A point and you go to B point. And then you go to another A and another B, and you are transferring your body. And yes, this is a way to dance. But for us, dance is what happened in between A and B. And I said, oh my gosh. It was the key to discover the other part. In between A and B, you have the conversation with your partner. You can say things in a non-verbal conversation. No? Of course, it's a non-verbal, but you can communicate things to your partner. Your partner can talk with you. We think that the intelligence is like intellectual, but body has kind of intelligence that can surprise us. And through the muscle tone, through our way to receive a music sound, a music stimulus, you have a vibration and your partner can catch it, and you can communicate through all these things, your fear, your security, I mean, many things. And she can, or he can, or they can understand, answer, complete us, or, I mean, it's like a conversation. You know? That is why when I was young and I was looking milongueros dancing, in Argentina, it's very common, and it was more before, the cabeceo. Cabeceo is the way to invite to dance. And you have an old guy, fat guy, sitting in that corner, and young guys, good-looking guys, sitting in the other side of the place. I am just talking about the landscape that I had in my mind in that moment. It was my reality in that moment. And you can see all the young ladies, beautiful ladies, instead of look at the young and the good-looking guys, they were looking the milonguero, the old and fat guy. And then all these ladies look in the milonguero, and the milonguero in a certain moment invite to dance one of these ladies. And dance easy, just walking and nothing, no ganchos, no nothing, nothing. I said, oh, yes, maybe she danced with him because he's an old guy and I don't know, a sweet person. And then after that, I went to my girlfriend and say, hey, tell me, how was the experience to dance with them? Oh, it was beautiful. What? It was beautiful. Why? If you were dancing, I mean, just a couple of steps, nothing. No, it was crazy. He talked me about many things. What? And for me, it was okay. There's something that I am missing. And I start to discover what happened in between. I said the small print of the contract, the thing, the first time that you are watching, you cannot see. But you can feel something if you're a sensitive person. And for us, it was like our challenge. Okay, let's understand and let's learn what happened. And many of us start to dance with these milongueros because we want to feel. And believe me, it's fantastic. The feeling is fantastic.
And us being men or people who are leaders, generally following the milongueros.
Yes, milonguero. The best class that you can have with a milonguero is dance with him. Dance with him, because in terms of talk, it's going to be confused. But when you feel their body talking, is completely clear. It's completely clear. And that is why I was creating all this thing about why, which is a very subjective aspect, but is the juicy part. When you can arrive to this point that you start to dance in between steps, between A and B, in all this line, you discover another world. 2 weeks ago, I went to dance here in Buenos Aires And I was looking a guy dancing with another guy. And I said, wow, he danced, man. And it was super strong for me, to see how he managed the follower role. After that, I asked him if he wanted to dance with me. And he said, yes, of course. And we danced. And I cannot stop to dance with him. I danced 2 times with Juanpi.
Juanpi Ramirez.
Yeah.
I will spare you my fangirling, but let's just say Juanpi Ramirez is not your average guy who follows. In 2018, Juanpi made it to the final of the Mundial de Tango. That's like the Tango World Cup in the following role. And you can find a few favorite videos in the show notes.
And we were dancing in very, very, very close embrace. And in certain moment, I feel exactly the same that the Milongueros said. Where is tango? No? And tango, it was not in the steps, but actually there was very beautiful steps because he danced in an incredible level. But the juicy part is it wasn't in the steps, it wasn't in between. What happened with the muscle tone, with the way that he offered his heart, and the way that his heart connect with my one, and the dialogue who has these 2 bodies, and we in certain moment, like person, we can disappear. I mean, Juan, it wasn't there. It was other thing that is not Juan. I think it was the dance. And for me, that is the point. When you can disappear like a person, when you can have not more personality, when you have not more name and physical appearance, it's all about feeling. And that is the thing that make me dance forever.
Juan's reverence for connecting and disappearing isn't limited to the social dance floor. He aims to do the same in performance.
My best performance is when I can disappear like a person. When dance take me and take my partner.
So it's like that you get into that zone that you were describing with Juanpi.
Yeah, when you get like in a trance, that the concept of perform disappear, but it's in a side, and we can connect with the music and connect with the dance and disappear like person and appear the dance. Through the language that I know, I try to write a poem. And that has a risk. And the risk is that you cannot do it. Many times I cannot do it. But that is the risk. And if it's risk, I think it's good. Even if you cannot express the maximum that you want, if your poem is not cool, but you try, I think it's positive. I think improvisation is a color of tango, and it's a very basic color. And if you have nothing, no just one step in improvisation, I think you are missing a color. But could be a possibility if you are in a show, in a different kind of show, when you have like a concept, a big stage, and a company, and okay, that in that moment is completely different. I was talking about the kind of performance that I made, which is in a dance floor, in a festival. It's not in a big stage with a big company. But we have many examples of great dancers in big stages with full choreography, writing a poem. The important thing for me in perform is connect with your partner, with the music in a very, very deep way. So you should know the music that you are dancing and transit this risk to offer something new, something that even you don't know that you can offer. When happened that, I clap myself. And it's not often. If you transit all this risk, you start to have a connection with the audience, even if it's in a big stage with a big company, or if it's in a milonga or in a festival. That is the goal, in my opinion, to connect in deeper as you can disappear like a person. And tango can talk. Of course, it's something very intimate moment, and the connection with your partner it happens in many different levels, and it's easy to get confused. It's easy to feel that your structures moves when you connect with someone in so deeper way. And I think that is great. In this moment, I feel that it's good to break structures, to let that the life surprise us. And you have the possibility to connect with other person, with other world, and it's beautiful to realize that we are very different and not so different at the same time. And when we can connect with something which is bigger than us, the feeling is fantastic. It's fantastic because the life is bigger than us. And it's beautiful to understand that the life includes us, even if we are not including life. No, because we have a education separate. You are different than me because I'm dancer and you are no. We are the same. And in the moment that we connect with that, we can push boundaries and really realize that the way is be less you and be more the life. Life is when you can see the other and you can see yourself.
In tango and in life, there's the strangest comfort in having an agenda. It's like we think if we focus exclusively on getting from point A to point B, we can just opt out of the unexpected. It takes courage to surrender to the mystery and dialogue of the in-between, to be fully present in the transitions. But if we can manage it, we may discover new paths and possibilities, and we'll certainly open ourselves to greater connection with others. At the end of our interview, Juan and I switched to his native language, Spanish, for a few minutes. Juan may have his doubts about words, but for me, there's poetry here. I've tried to paraphrase in English as unobtrusively as possible.
De lo que puedo hablar es de esas cosas que para mí están entre medio de A y B. Y si esas son las cosas que me interesan.
What I can talk
Entonces,
about are these things between
sí.
A and B. That's what interests me.
Yo creo que esa es la
I
esencia.
believe that's the
Y
essence.
si uno vive su esencia,
And if you live your
no importa
essence,
en
it
qué
doesn't matter what
idioma
language you
hable, y si
speak,
tenés muy pocas palabras o
or if you have
muchas,
few words or many,
yo creo que
the
llega.
essence comes through.
Porque tampoco es
Because
que
it's not like
vengo a dar un
I've come
mensaje,
to deliver a
no tengo nada
message.
para decir.
I don't have anything to say.
Simplemente vivo mi
I
esencia
live
y
my
trato de
essence
compartirla
and try to share
con
it with
quien
those who are
están
interested.
interesados. Y por eso digo, es un honor.
And that's why I say it's an honor.
Me gustaría
I'd like to know your essence.
conocer tu esencia, que bastante la conozco porque hemos hablado mucho, hemos compartido mucho y hemos bailado
And I already
mucho
do
también.
somewhat because we've talked, shared,
Y,
and danced a
y eso es
lot.
muy lindo y se siente.
And that's lovely
Ahí hay
because you
una
can feel an ebb and
ida y
flow
vuelta
of
de
nonverbal
cosas
things.
que no son verbales, porque la palabra es muy
Because
limitante.
words are
Aunque
limiting.
hables muy bien, excelentemente un idioma,
Even if you speak a language at an incredible level.
la palabra casa, ¿no? La palabra home no es lo mismo para vos que para mí. Y cuando los dos hablamos de
When
home,
we say the word home, we
damos
assume we
por
mean the
sentado que
same
estamos
thing.
hablando de lo mismo. Y quizás no es
But
el
maybe
mismo
home
home,
isn't
el
the
tuyo y
same
el
for
mío.
me and for
Y
you.
en el abrazo del tango es lo mismo.
Same with the tango
La
embrace.
conexión con el
The
corazón, y quizás
connection
son
of the heart
palabras nada
may
más.
just be words.
Cuando sucede, es maravilloso y exceden las palabras.
But when it happens, it's amazing and it transcends words.
Y yo tengo momentos grabados en mi ser
I have moments
bailes
recorded in my
con
being
personas que quizás ni siquiera son
of
mis
dancing with people who
parejas,
might not be my partners in
de
work,
trabajo, ni
life,
de
or
vida, ni de
anything.
nada, pero son momentos de un calibre, de una fuerza, de una intensidad
But the moments are of a caliber, a force and intensity
que vale la pena vivir solo para llegar a ese punto.
that makes life worth living, simply to arrive at that point.
Yo tengo tantas grabadas
I have
en
dances recorded in my
mi
being
ser con gente de Washington,
with people from Washington,
con
from other
gente
countries, from
de
Argentina,
otros países, con gente de Argentina también, de otro sexo, de otra
of different
identidad,
sexes, identities, and
de
ages.
diferentes edades.
And when this
Y-
nonverbal, fluid, profound communication
Y cuando
happens,
se da esa comunicación no verbal, pero fluida y profunda,
between all of what we are, this blend of body, mind, heart, and
de toda
soul,
esta cosa que somos, esta mezcla de cuerpo y mente y corazón y alma,
it's
es
marvelous.
maravilloso, es maravilloso.
For me, it makes it worth it to have
Para mí
lived.
ahí vale la pena haber vivido.
Here's to embracing the in-between and letting life surprise us. Thanks to Juan and to Sonico, whose interpretation of A Luis Lucci by Eduardo Rovira is featured in this episode.